In this video, I'm going to talk about factoring trinomials with a common factor using the rectangle or box method. What I have here is two equations, and I filled in the corresponding boxes and the corresponding sides. There's a pattern here to notice among the diagonals. If you multiply the diagonals, they actually multiply to the same thing. So for example, on the top, both diagonals multiply to negative 18x squared. On the bottom, both diagonals multiply to 120x squared. We're going to use this idea in the next part. Okay, we're going to factor 12x squared minus 22x plus 6. There are two methods to do this using the box. I'm going to show you both and talk about which one is more beneficial. The first method I'm going to use is I'm going to factor out a common factor. So just looking at 12x squared minus 22x plus 6, I see that I can factor out a 2 from each term, which means I can divide a 2 from 12, divide a 2 from 22, and divide a 2 from 6. So I'm going to rewrite that trinomial as 2 times 6x squared minus 11x plus 3. Now I'm just going to use the box to factor what is inside the parentheses. I'm going to fill in my box on the left. And I know from that pattern I showed you earlier that both diagonals have to multiply to the same thing. So it looks like both of them have to multiply to 18x squared. That means I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 18 and add to negative 11. All right, I'm going to go to my list of numbers that multiply to 18. And I'm going to see which one of those pairs adds to negative 11. It looks like negative 2 plus negative 9 adds to negative 11. So I'm going to fill in my box with those two. I'm just going to check that my pattern still works. Yep, negative 2x times negative 9x equals 18x squared. Okay, once I have that, I can fill in the sides. Looking at the top row, 6x squared and negative 9x, I can factor out a 3x. And on the bottom, I'm going to factor out a negative 1. Then on the top of the box, I need to figure out a number that multiplies to get 6x squared. So 3x times what will give me 6x squared? 3x times 2x will give me 6x squared. And 3x times negative 3 will give me negative 9x. I'm going to check the other two boxes. Negative 1 times 2x gives me negative 2x. Yes. Negative 1 times negative 3 gives me positive 3. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite my parentheses using the factors that I found in the box. So I'm going to write it as 2 times 3x minus 1 times 2x minus 3. Notice that the 2 in the front is still there. All I did was factor what was inside of the parentheses. This is one method to do it, where you would factor out the 2 first, factor out the common factor first. Now, what if you didn't want to factor out the common factor first and you just wanted to go straight from the original equation 12x squared minus 22x plus 6? You can do that too, and I'm going to talk about why that one may be not as efficient. There's 12x squared and 6. I know from my pattern that they both diagonals have to multiply to 72x squared. So I need to find numbers that multiply to 72x squared and add to negative 22x. Here's where it gets tricky. 72 is a very big number, and so there are lots of factors that can go into 72. So this is the start of my list, but even with these numbers, none of them work to add to negative 22. So this is the reason why I like to factor out the 2 first, because it makes my list of numbers smaller. Right now, 72 is such a big number that my list will be a lot longer. All right, I'm looking for, if you want to do it this way, that's totally fine. It's just that sometimes the list might get lengthy. I'm I'm looking for negative 22x. So it looks like 4 plus 18 equals positive 22. So negative 4 and negative 18 will give me negative 22. So I'm going to fill in the boxes there. Let's double check that it multiplies and satisfies the pattern. And now I can fill in the sides. Okay, the top, 12x squared and negative 18x. The biggest common factor is 6x. And on the bottom, the biggest common factor is negative 2. Then 6x times what will give me 12x squared? Oh, 6x times 2x will give me 12x squared. 6x times negative 3 gives me negative 18x. Check the other boxes. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Yep. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Yep. Okay, so I have filled in my sides, and now I'm ready to write my factored form. You'll notice that this isn't quite the same answer as I got earlier. The reason why is because we did not finish factoring. If you look at the first parentheses in 6x minus 2, you can actually factor out a 2 because both of them are divisible by 2. So I'm going to rewrite that as 2 times 3x minus 1. You'll notice that the 2x minus 3 is still there, and now both our answers are the same. If you have your factors out of order, that's okay, because multiplication does not care about order. So if you put 2x minus 3 first, and then 3x minus 1 second, that's okay. So just to conclude, and just what I talked about on the left, I divided the 2 out first, so I factored the 2 out, and then I used the box to factor 6x squared minus 11x plus 3. And that gave me 3x minus 1 and 2x minus 3. On the right-hand side, I did not factor out the 2 first, and I went straight into the box. That gave me 6x minus 2 times 2x minus 3. Then I have to factor the 6x minus 2. I factor the 2 out to get 2 times 3x minus 1. Note, both of them are the same answers. Both of them will get you the same answer. And so we come to the same conclusion. The factors are 2, 3x minus 1, and 2x minus 3. Now it's your turn to try. So try factoring the following trinomials completely. Pause the video here, then when you are finished, play the video to see the answers. Okay, now that you have tried these on your own, for number 5, the answer was 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 1. Number 6, 2 times m plus 1 times m minus 4. Number 7, 4 times 2y minus 1 times 3y plus 4.